How you doing, you old pirate? So good to see you.
Well, he seems very friendly.
Yes, very friendly.
What are you doing here?
As smooth operator Lando Calrissian in the Star Wars franchise, Billy Dee Williams made movie history. But that's just one of his standout roles. And this morning, he's looking back at life on screen and off with our man in Hollywood, Ben Mankiewicz.
Oh, thank you.
Valentine's Day at the historic Schomburg Center in Harlem served as the perfect backdrop for Billy Dee Williams fans to show their love.
You became our sex symbol, right?
Williams, now 86, helped define the modern romantic leading man on the big screen. First in 1972, opposite Diana Ross in Lady Sings the Blues.
You want my arm to fall off?
Then again 3 years later in Mahogany.
Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
And I decided to become a romantic figure on the screen.
So that was a literal decision to become a romantic figure?
Yeah, I've always wanted to be. I used to tell my mom, I want to be like Rudolph Valentino.
Billy Dee Williams didn't stop at Rudolph Valentino. He added a little Errol Flynn, a suave swashbuckler in a cape in The Empire Strikes Back.
Hello, what have we here?
That line became the title of his new memoir. It details his public and personal life, his close friendship with James Baldwin, backstage conversations with Laurence Olivier, his love of being in love. The way you wrote about it, you go, I had a weakness when it came to love and romance. The first moment of eye contact, a glance indicating interest, a mischievous smile, a sexy walk, a playful touch. That was my song.
Yeah, well, that's all very true.
Yet for all that charm and sex appeal, Williams convinced me he's shy.
I'm really very insecure.
It's strange, considering what you do, right? You give yourself in front of a camera with all these people watching. You become someone else. You emote, you cry, you get angry.
Well, maybe that's why I become someone else, because I'm really insecure.
Easier to be someone else than to be Billy Dee Williams.
Yeah, because I don't really like to talk about myself, and I like to keep to myself.
Still, he's written a pretty revealing memoir discussing his relationships, his children, his 3 marriages. Did that contribute, you think, to some relationships not working out long-term, your sort of unwillingness to open up?
No, I'm just a philanderer, you know. I mean.
or there's that. Was it a big change moving out here?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Are you kidding?
Williams moved to Los Angeles in 1970, but he's a New Yorker. He grew up across the street from Central Park. His parents called him Sonny. His dad worked 3 jobs. His mother had a beautiful singing voice. She's the one who wanted to be in showbiz.
I never really looked to be an actor.
He set out to be a painter. He was good, too. Landed a scholarship at the National Academy of Design. Then a chance meeting with a CBS casting agent led to an acting gig. The roles just kept coming.
And all of a sudden, I found myself going in that direction. I always said, you know, every time I wanted to go right, something would say, no, Billy, go left.
Here you go. Thanks.
He went left, then cut back right in 1971, landing a part that changed his life. Playing Chicago Bears running back Gale Sayers in the TV movie Brian's Song.
Well, that whole experience for me, as I described it, was an act of love.
Brian's Song is the true story of the relationship between Sayers and a teammate, Brian Piccolo, played by James Caan. Sayers and Piccolo became friends and the first interracial roommates in the NFL. Then came Piccolo's terminal cancer diagnosis.
I love Brian Piccolo. And I'd like all of you to love him too.
55 million Americans tuned in. To say it had an impact is an understatement. You've had people come up to you and say, I never thought I could connect with a black guy like that.
There was a gentleman that I ran into who was a bigot, who would not socialize with black folks. He was so deeply touched. It changed his whole perspective on things.
Perspectives in Hollywood, though, changed slowly. After his success in the early 70s, Williams expected job offers to pour in. After all, he'd earned the nickname the Black Clark Gable.
But it wasn't true because you lacked something that Clark Gable had, right? Which was opportunity. You write about it.
It's frustrating, there's no question about it. But, you take a negative and you try to see what you can do with it and maybe turn it around in some kind of an interesting fashion.
Williams did more than turn the situation around. He just kept looking for compelling characters to play.
I wanted to do the full spectrum
That's right.
of colors. That's how I see myself.
He found such a character when George Lucas called with an offer to work in a galaxy far, far away as Lando Calrissian in The Empire Strikes Back.
Look, someone's up there.
The first black character in the Star Wars universe. Williams, though, saw him as something else.
How did you think of Lando?
Well, when I heard the name Calrissian, I said, whoa, Armenian, whoa, let me see what I can do with this. And then I got the cape and I thought, whoa, Earl Flynn.
By the end of the movie, Lando is clearly a good guy, but millions of Star Wars fans still saw him as the villain who handed Han Solo to Darth Vader.
I had no choice. They arrived right before you did. I'm sorry.
I'd pick my daughter up from school, kids running up to me. You betrayed Han Solo. I'd go on an airplane and I'd have a flight attendant. You betrayed Han Solo. I mean, it was crazy.
Crazier still is that this talented actor with a 60-plus year career might be best known to a certain generation, my generation, for a string of beer commercials in the 1980s.
There are two rules to remember if you want to have a good time. Rule number one, never
Run out of Colt 45. Number two, don't forget rule number one. I mean, I've remembered that.
The other one was, it works every time.
Oh, you still got it.
He still had it at 77 on Dancing with the Stars, and at 82, returning to Fly the Millennium Falcon as Lando Calrissian.
Hold on, Chewie.
For a shy and insecure man, Billy Dee Williams sure has plenty to say.
In a sense, I'm surprised you wrote the book.
Well, I said, okay, you're getting on in years, and I started thinking legacy.
Yeah,
I want to leave something for the grandkids and the kids that come after that.
right, that they understand who Billy Dee Williams was.
Yeah. And I want people to know that, I didn't approach life feeling like a victim. I just went out on an adventure.